Deep in the shadow of Japan's sacred Mount Fuji lies a place where even sunlight seems hesitant to enter. This is Aokigahara Forest, also known by another, darker name. The Suicide Forest. Spread over 35 square kilometers of dense, dark woodland, Aokigahara is a place where thousands of people visit, and many never return. The forest has earned a terrifying reputation, not only in Japan but across the world. For centuries, this forest has been wrapped in silence, mystery, and grief. People come here to think, to disappear. Some come for answers, others for escape. But what they often find is something else entirely. The moment one steps inside Aokigahara, the world outside seems to vanish. The forest floor is coated in thick moss and cooled lava, left over from Mount Fuji's ancient eruptions. Trees stretch like skeletal fingers to the sky. The air is heavy, still, and strangely quiet. No wind, no birds, no animals, just silence. Locals believe the forest is cursed, that it holds the spirits of those who died in pain, that the very trees whisper to lost souls, urging them to stay. And the numbers tell a chilling story. Each year, dozens of bodies are recovered. Many more are never found. It has become a place of unspoken tragedy. Aokigahara is not just a forest. It is a reflection of sorrow, secrets, and something that lingers beyond death. Some say it is haunted. Some say it's psychological. But everyone agrees, it's not like anywhere else on Earth. At first glance, Aokigahara looks like any other beautiful forest in Japan. But its geography is what makes it so terrifying. The ground is not soil, but hardened volcanic rock. It is uneven, sharp, and jagged, filled with hidden caves, sudden dips, and deep cracks. Thick moss and undergrowth make the paths nearly invisible. Even with a compass or GPS, you can easily become disoriented. Many visitors report their devices malfunctioning shortly after entering. Scientists say the magnetic iron in the lava disrupts signals, but many believe something supernatural interferes with navigation. There are few official trails, and those that exist are narrow and unmarked. Some areas of the forest are completely closed off, but curious visitors ignore the warnings. To prevent getting lost, explorers and searchers often bring colorful ribbons or ropes. They tie them to trees as they go, so they can find their way back. But often, rescuers find the ropes, leading nowhere, just like the people they were tied for. The deeper you go, the darker it gets. The thick tree cover blocks sunlight. Even on a bright afternoon, inside Aokigahara, it feels like dusk. The silence is total. No birds chirping, no insects buzzing, not even wind rustling the leaves. Only the sound of your own footsteps and your heartbeat. If you scream, your voice doesn't echo. The forest absorbs sound, as if it doesn't want the outside world to hear. That's why Aokigahara is not just a place to visit. It's a place you feel, in your chest, in your mind, in your soul. It's why so many who enter never want to leave. To understand Aokigahara, one must understand Japan's deep spiritual beliefs. In Japanese folklore, there is a type of ghost called the Yūrei, restless souls who died in pain, sorrow, or anger. These spirits cannot pass on to the afterlife. They remain trapped between worlds, wandering the place where they died. Aokigahara is believed to be filled with them. People who walk through the forest often speak of sudden chills, a heavy presence, or the feeling of being watched. Some hear voices whispering their name or footsteps behind them, but when they turn around, no one is there. According to ancient legend, Aokigahara was used for a horrible practice called ubasud, where elderly or sick family members were abandoned in the forest to die. Whether true or not, the story remains part of the land's spiritual energy. Locals believe the forest is alive and hungry for souls. Some Shinto priests say the land is spiritually stained, that every suicide only strengthens the curse, that the pain of each soul adds to the forest's weight, trapping more spirits, making it harder for anyone to escape once inside. Visitors have reported seeing pale figures standing among the trees. A woman in a white kimono crying silently, a shadow that floats above the ground. Sometimes, entire figures vanish when approached, like smoke fading into the air. People who survive long journeys in Aokigahara often return with changed personalities. Some become quiet, others have strange dreams. Some are never the same again. Whether ghosts are real or not, something in this forest feels wrong. It's more than just sadness. It's as if the land itself remembers, and it wants you to remember too. The forest wasn't always a place of death. Long ago, Aokigahara was simply a quiet, sacred patch of nature. But everything changed in the 1960s. That's when Japan began to notice a disturbing trend, people entering the forest and never coming out. In 1961, a famous novel titled Korwajukai, The Black Sea of Trees, was published. In the story, a couple enters Aokigahara and takes their own lives. The book became popular, too popular. Suddenly, real people began to imitate it. Year after year, the number of suicides increased. Quietly, slowly, secretly. At first, officials kept it hidden from the public. But when bodies began to pile up, they could no longer stay silent. By the 1970s, Aokigahara had become the most common suicide site in Japan. The government refused to publish the exact number, but rumors spread of over 100 deaths per year. Eventually, signs were placed at the forest's edge. Your life is a precious gift. Please think of your family. Don't face your problems alone. But the signs didn't stop the pain. Today, the forest holds a long and tragic history of those who came searching for peace and found only silence. Some of their belongings, shoes, bags, letters, are still found in the forest, weathered by time, slowly being swallowed by moss. Aokigahara became a graveyard without tombstones, a final resting place where the trees remember your name. One of the strangest things about Aokigahara is how easily people get lost, even when they try not to. Tourists and locals alike report that their compasses spin wildly, GPS loses signal, and phones stop working just minutes after entering. Is it paranormal? Scientists say no. They explain that the ground beneath the forest is made of volcanic iron, lava from Mount Fuji's eruption centuries ago. This iron-rich rock interferes with compasses, magnets, and electronics. But visitors say it feels like more than just metal. They describe the disorientation as sudden, dizzying, and unnatural. One man described walking in circles for hours, even though his path was straight. Another woman said her GPS showed her floating off the map, as if she didn't exist. Some have followed ribbons, only to find them tied in perfect circles, leading them back to where they started, with no memory of returning. A few survivors claimed they were being led away from the exit, as if something wanted them deeper. No one really knows what causes it. Whether it's science, spirits, or something unknown, once your sense of direction disappears, you become part of the forest. And not everyone finds their way out. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about Aokigahara is not what you see. It's what you don't hear. No birds, no animals, not even wind. The trees here are so tightly packed, so thick, that sound itself seems trapped. Even your footsteps feel muted. Your breathing echoes strangely in your head. Some have called it the sound vacuum of death. This eerie silence has a psychological effect. People report feeling watched, isolated, or like they've left the real world entirely. Psychologists say it's the brain reacting to the lack of external noise, forcing you to hear your own fears louder. One hiker said he began to hear voices, his own regrets whispering like wind. Another claimed the silence got so loud it made his ears hurt. The deeper you go, the stronger it gets, like the forest is absorbing sound and replacing it with something darker. Some believe the forest silences you on purpose, so you can't call for help, so your thoughts can't escape. So you are alone, truly alone. In a world that never stops talking, Aokigahara is the one place that never speaks. And that is the most terrifying sound of all. As the silence of Aokigahara grows heavier, something else begins to stir. Many who walk its paths, tourists, hikers, and even trained rescue workers, report seeing shadowy figures moving just out of sight. At first, it's just a flicker, a black shape between the trees. Then, it appears again, closer. Some say they've seen people standing still in the forest, staring from a distance. When approached, they vanish. No footsteps, no sound, no trace. One local rescue volunteer described seeing a pale figure hanging from a tree, swaying slowly. But when he ran to help, there was nothing there. Others tell of a woman in a white kimono, walking barefoot through the underbrush. Her face is always hidden. Her footsteps make no sound. Several campers who spent a night in the forest said they were awakened by whispers, voices repeating the same sentence over and over. Why are you here? Why are you here? Flashlights flicker. Camera batteries die. Breath turns cold. It's not always what you see. Sometimes it's the feeling that someone or something is behind you, watching, following. But when you turn around, the forest is still, silent, and empty. Getting lost in Aokigahara is not just common, it's almost expected. Even experienced hikers have reported strange sensations of walking in circles, finding themselves back at the same tree again and again. Some follow trail markers or ribbons, only to discover they've been moved or cut. In one case, a search team found a man who had survived for 7 days with no food. He told them he kept seeing a woman who guided him deeper into the woods, even when he tried to leave. Another man was found lying in a cave, repeating the words, "She said it's safe here," over and over. Local stories suggest the forest can shift itself, leading people away from the exit and deeper into isolation. Some say the trees are alive, or that the spirits of the dead want company. In many recovery missions, rescuers report finding tent remains, campfires, and even notes left by people trying to decide whether to live or die. Some stay for days, battling their thoughts. Some try to return, but the path is gone. And some are never seen again. They become part of the forest, not just physically, but spiritually. It's not just about losing your way. It's about the forest taking it from you. Some people who enter Aokigahara are lucky, they come out alive. But they are never the same. One college student described walking into the forest on a dare. An hour in, he said the trees began to close in, and he couldn't tell what was real. He heard footsteps behind him, but when he turned, nothing. He ran back in panic, but the trail was gone. He survived only by following his ribbon, shaking the whole way. Another woman, a photographer, visited to document nature. She wrote that after a few minutes, she felt overwhelming sadness, as if hundreds of people were crying all around her. When she reviewed her photos, one image showed a faint outline of a face in the fog. A former soldier said the forest reminded him of war, not because of violence, but because of death without sound. Some survivors have said the forest spoke to them, not in words, but in feelings, that it pulled out memories they had buried for years, that it made them face things they were never ready to confront. Those who are rescued are often silent. Some weep. Some never speak about it again. They returned, but they left something behind. And they brought something out. A piece of the forest stays with you. Always. In Japan, they are known as search volunteers, small, quiet teams who enter Aokigahara not to hike, but to look for the missing. Their job is grim. They walk the forest slowly, scanning the trees, listening to the wind, if there is any. Most of the time, it's the smell that leads them. Other times, it's the sight of a bright blue tent, or a pair of shoes neatly placed side by side. Searchers often say they know they are close when they feel a pressure in their chest, as if the forest is warning them. One volunteer, Kinji, shared a memory that haunts him to this day. "I saw a man sitting at the base of a tree," he said. "I called out to him. No response. As I stepped closer, I realized he was gone, days ago. But his eyes were still open." Some searchers leave notes with hopeful messages. Others tie bells to trees so they don't lose their way or their minds. But many have said they feel followed, even while in groups. They hear footsteps that don't match their own, see shadows in the distance, feel touches on their shoulder when no one is near. They go in knowing they may not come out the same. Because when you recover someone lost to Aokigahara, a piece of that loss comes with you. Long before it became a place of sorrow, Aokigahara was sacred. The forest sits at the base of Mount Fuji, a mountain considered divine in Shinto belief. It is the home of gods, spirits, and elemental forces. According to ancient myths, the woods are filled with kami, spiritual beings that live in nature. But when nature is disturbed, those spirits can grow angry. Some legends speak of jabako, tree spirits that feed on human suffering. They are said to grow stronger when someone dies near them. In Aokigahara, the trees are old, twisted, covered in moss, and something else. Locals say the forest has memory. There is also the legend of Kurwa Anna, the black woman, a ghostly figure in a tattered kimono who appears to those about to take their lives. She whispers in their ears, promising peace if they follow her. Shrines once stood at the edges of Aokigahara, built to protect travelers from wandering too deep. Many are now broken, forgotten, but some still remain, small stone altars with offerings left behind, rice, coins, or white paper folded into sacred shapes. For those who believe, Aokigahara is not just a forest. It is a borderland between our world and the spirit realm, a place where lost souls gather, and ancient spirits still rule. Despite its dark reputation, Not everyone views Aokigahara as a place of death. Some see it as a place of healing. In recent years, the Japanese government and local communities have taken steps to reduce suicide rates and change how the forest is treated. Signs have been placed at the entrances, written in multiple languages. You are not alone. Think about your family. Please talk to someone. Patrols now monitor the forest. Volunteers walk the paths and leave messages of hope. Some areas have security cameras and emergency phones. Mental health organizations have launched hotlines and awareness campaigns linked directly to the forest. They say Aokigahara should not be feared, but understood. There are also ceremonies held each year to bless the souls of the dead. Monks chant prayers. Flowers are offered. Names are remembered. Not everyone agrees with how the forest is treated. Some believe the attention only fuels the legend. Others argue it saves lives. Still, the efforts continue. Some see it as a place of horror. Others, a place of release. But more and more, it is becoming a place of reflection and respect. A place where death once ruled, now slowly learning how to offer peace. Many people come out of Aokigahara, but not all of them come back whole. Psychologists who've studied the forest say it has a unique effect on the mind. Some call it the Aokigahara effect. There are three main things they notice. Extreme isolation. The deeper you go, the less connected you feel to the outside world. There is no signal, no sound, no help, just you and your thoughts. Loss of time. Visitors often report feeling like hours have passed when it's only been minutes, or that time has stopped altogether. Emotional amplification. Whatever pain you bring into the forest becomes louder. It echoes in the silence. It grows. One woman said she went in with sadness and came out with terror. Others say they couldn't stop crying for reasons they didn't understand. Even experienced hikers report nightmares, hallucinations, and dark moods days after leaving. Researchers believe the forest acts as a psychological mirror. It doesn't create the darkness. It shows you the one you already carry. So is Aokigahara really haunted? Or is it simply a place that reflects human pain? Spiritual leaders in Japan believe the spirits of the dead are indeed trapped there, unable to rest, repeating their final thoughts forever. Shinto monks say the energy is unclean, that rituals must be performed to purify the land, that every death leaves behind spiritual residue. On the other hand, scientists and psychologists offer a different view. They say the forest's darkness, silence, and isolation create the perfect storm for hallucinations, fear, and emotional breakdowns. That what we call ghosts are sometimes just echoes of trauma. A few experts believe the truth lies somewhere in between. One famous Japanese psychologist once said, "The forest is not cursed, but it is filled with cursed memories." And that might be more terrifying than any ghost, because while spirits may vanish, pain does not. Today, Aokigahara still stands, unmoving, watching, remembering. It's a place of tragedy, but also of beauty. The trees are tall, the moss is thick, sunlight barely touches the ground, and somewhere within its 35 kilometers are stories that will never be told. But if you listen closely, if you stand very still, you might hear something. A whisper, a memory, a name. Some say the forest calls to the broken, that it speaks their language, that it welcomes them not with anger, but with silence. But the most chilling thought is this. What if the forest is not the monster? What if it's the mirror? And the real horror lies in what we bring with us. Aokigahara doesn't chase anyone. It waits. It's patient. And it always, always remembers.